Dee die die die, dee die die. Dee die die die, dee die dee die die. Dee die die die, dee die dee die die. Ya 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 ya, ee da dee die die. Dee die die die, dee die die. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're well. We are continuing the laws of how to search for chametz. An important part of that law is what the heck is chametz. So we resolved that it's 5 kinds of grain. Those are going to be what's forbidden. But in addition, there are going to be issues which are items, which are mixtures. So we're on the laws of mixtures. We're in chapter 112 in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, if you want to follow along. And here we go. We're on number 4, and so chapter 112, number 4. This issue really is not an issue today, but it connects to something which could come up today. So back in the day, for privacy or sunlight, people used to put up, interestingly, they used to put a paste paper over their windows. And the paste might have been made with flour and water. So can you use paste? So the answer is we're going to permit using if you, before Passover, if something, you had a paste made with water and flour as a glue to glue something, it's okay. Because the general principle is, and why it's important to discuss this, anything which is not fit for a dog to eat is going to be something we don't have to worry about, not just not having, but we don't have to sell it, we don't have to get rid of it, we have to worry about it. Number 5, hey, we also had an issue back in the day with inks. Some of them were made with apparently chametz. Let's say you had ink. This ink was cooked and made with beer before Pesach. So I know, what do you do during intermediary days of Pesach? Can you use ink? Mutar lichtov b'bechol moed Pesach. You can use that kind of ink. Because once it might have been beer at one time, but now the beer has been used in the process of cooking ink, and it's completely unfit for human or even a dog wouldn't eat it. It's fine as long as all that was done kodem Pesach. Okay, but if the chametz was fit for Canaan consumption when Pesach began, so then it's prohibited and you can't use it on Pesach to mix. So I couldn't, for example, use a chametz which a dog would eat, then take it out of the realm of edibility on Passover. We couldn't do, but we could if it's done before Passover. Now it's completely inedible now. That's going to be okay. We keep going. Any other case like this, anytime chametz has become totally unfit for canine consumption before Pesach, mutar b'Pesach b'navsha, you can benefit from it and keep it in your possession on Pesach. So, for example, it's shoe polish. Don't have to get rid of it. I'm trying to think of something else you might have, like a topical ointment, maybe containing grain alcohol. So let's say you have not sunscreen is not probably, but some kind of ointment or something which was, or maybe an essential oil that might have been made using a distillation process, and it might be, you have some grain alcohol within it, so that, generally we say that that's going to be fine. You don't have to sell it, and you could even use it, again, assuming that it's nothing that a dog could eat. Now, there was a question brought forward, well, what about in places where people are really desperate for alcohol? and they're willing to even eat alcohol, which is not fit for consumption. Well, we don't have that problem here in America. Alcoholics have plenty of readily available alcohol. So we're going to say it's okay. Now, what about you've got it's not a Jewish person preparing this, but a non-Jewish person is preparing this inedible concoction, on Pesach. We might think that since a Jew didn't do it, and a non-Jew doesn't have a prohibition on Chametz, we might think that it would be permitted to then use that we're not going to, right? Because for the Chametz that's owned by a non-Jew is also prohibited for a Jew on Pesach, right? So just to recap this interesting little twist of the halacha, the final product would be permitted for a Jew, but only if it had been created before Pesach. But when Passover began, all chametz is forbidden for us. Our chametz and chametz of non-Jews too. So if a non-Jew were to take that chametz and mix it in a way that would make it inedible, it still would be forbidden for us on Passover. Because at the onset of Pesach, that's the status that we're going to stick with. Because at that time, it was fit for canine consumption, and we're not allowed to benefit for it now on Pesach. The next one, Kol akelim sheinu machshim klezach. What about utensils, pots, pans, cups, plates, which you're not koshering for Pesach? So you don't have to sell them. So if you clean them well, be'erev Pesach kodem shatz, just try to do it before the 6th hour of the day on Erev Pesach, and make sure you wash them out, that there's no visible chametz on them. You should put them in an out-of-the-way place. We are not going to go to get a plate or a cup or a pot from there, or a fork from there on Pesach. And it's better if you can lock it away in a separate place. He says a separate room, and put away the key until after Pesach. Now, in other words, plates that are regular day plates, they're not for Pesach. We do not have to sell them, and we do not have to, dispose of them. Obviously, we don't have to worry about these plates. We just don't want to use them on Passover, because any plate or a pot which has absorbed chametz flavor, we're not going to want to use on Passover, and we should put it aside, put it away, so that we don't end up using it. But interestingly, in the sale of chametz form, we do include, it says, any chametz stuck to anything of my pots, just in case. And usually that, that's in the sale. Funny, he says, not funny, but he says, if you're locking away in a room, you should put away the key until after Pesach. He's very worded. Today what we do in our home is we tape over the cabinets that have we use masking tape, not duct tape, masking tape on the cabinet, and we say non-Passover, or not for Pesach, on the tape, paste it across the cabinet door so you can't open it. Now, what if you've got limited cabinet space and you can't seal off, so what you can do is you only have to actually seal off the portion you're not going to use. So what we've done is you take paper, newspaper, or some other kind of magazine paper, and you just tape over the shelves that you're not going to use, leaving other shelves revealed. That's totally fine also, as long as you tape over it, cover it up. The goal is to not see it so that you won't be mistakenly use the non-Pesach stuff. Now you can also do that, by the way, with your chametz. So let's say you don't have a special room or a cabinet or a garage where you're going to store your chametz. You're not supposed to have or see it or own it. Now you're going to sell it to a non-Jew through the rabbi on Pesach, but where you're going to store it, he's not going to come or she's not going to come and pick it up from your house and bring it back. There's no, Chametz Uber Eats, kind of service here. So you're going to have to keep this on site. What are you going to do? What you're going to do is you put it in a cabinet. If you don't have a whole cabinet, use part of a cabinet, tape it up with paper, and just write Chametz on it. And that's how you do it. I wanted to go over a couple more things having to do with the mixtures and, like toothpaste, okay? Do you need kosher Pesach toothpaste? So the answer is you don't. However, we advise getting a kosher Pesach toothbrush. So we always buy new toothbrushes for everybody on Pesach, for Pesach. But the actual toothpaste does not have to be kosher Pesach. Okay. And these things come up a lot of the mixtures. So what about a perfume? Okay, so we said previously about the essential oil that might have been made with Pesach, and this. So it seems that there are a couple of opinions here. So according to Rabbi Ader, perfume, which often contain ethyl alcohol, are actual chametz, and they may not be used during Pesach, and they should be sold. He says also cologne, hair tonic, aftershave lotion, mouthwash, spray-on, roll-on deodorants. So he's very strict. Whereas he says nail polish, hand lotion, cold cream, and other creams, shampoo, paint, air freshener, all these kind of things can't be consumed. So he's going to say that somebody could extricate the alcohol content. I do note that is not the everybody. So that's Rabbi Shimon Ader, which is very, very strong posek on these issues. Rav Moshe said that the topical ointments, so that's probably where, in agreement. And everybody should ask their own rabbi what to do. I personally feel that the chametz that has to be, taken out of circulation is the chametz, which is edible. You'd even be able to technically use soap that had chametz in it, for the in the bath. But the question is, what about soap with chametz in it for your dishes, right? Because then you might eat it. So the answer is most commercial dish soap is not a problem. So you do not need to get special kosher for Pesach dish soap. What about other products? So face powders, foot powders, stick deodorants, these kind of things. All these things may be used on Pesach. We don't suggest using the same lipstick for women who are wearing lipstick. And we can't use flavored lip balms and lipsticks on Pesach unless they're kosher, because anything that would be considered edible needs to be kosher for Pesach, right? Now, what if it's just Vaseline or something like that? That's absolutely fine. Capsules, vitamins, all these kind of things are not chametz, do not have to be sold. Some are more stringent, some are less stringent. The real issue of chametz for medicine on Passover comes with liquid medicines. That's the biggest question, because they're made to be edible. And like NyQuil has alcohol in it. So NyQuil is going to be actual chametz. So it's important to try to get, if you need cold medicine, liquid cold medicine for a kid, try to get, if you can't get kosher Pesach medicine, so you want to try to get something which, at least on the ingredients, doesn't say, and if it's for kids, generally it won't have any alcohol. You want to be very, very careful, because that actually could be a chametz issue. We're totally fine with pills. I know that there's some who are very stringent. Maybe there's a chametz coating. It's very unlikely. Alcohol is going to be your biggest problem. And any kind of item that has alcohol in it. If there's anything specific, you're welcome to reach out. Those are the things that are going to, determine whether we keep them around on Pesach or we get rid of them on Pesach. So, or that is, put them in a safe place and sell them. And want to wish everybody a Chag Kasher V'Sameach, a joyous and kosher Passover. Feel free to reach out with any questions, concerns, or comments. We love hearing from everybody. And if permitted, we'll even read your email on air here. And we will be taking a little break, but returning after Passover for a wonderful, wonderful new semester of learning in the spring.